The first numerical is to verify Stokes theorem for vector v, which is given as 2xz plus 3y square j cap plus 4yz square k cap. So these are the y and z components of this vector field, where x component is equal to 0 for the surface which is shown in the figure. So we have to verify Stokes theorem for this vector field for considering the surface which is shown in the figure. So in figure we are given a sphere which is placed in y-z plane, and the limits of y are from 0 to 1 and the limits of z are also from 0 to 1, and the x-axis it is pointing out of the paper. So the yz, this surface it is placed in on the yz plane, therefore for all the points on the surface x will be equal to 0, and dx, which is the derivative of x, it will also be equal to 0. So we have to verify Stokes theorem, and Stokes theorem is given by the surface integration of curl of vector v dot product with ds vector is equal to the line integral of the vector field over the boundary of that surface. So over here S is the surface which is shown by the shaded area, and C it is the boundary of this surface. So we have to prove this Stokes theorem for this vector field and considering this surface. So the left hand side of this theorem is given by this expression, that is curl of vector v dot product with ds vector and its surface integration. Now the surface over here is an open surface, therefore the integral will be on open surface. So what will be ds vector in this case? First of all we will find curl of vector v, and then we will find ds vector, then we will do the dot product of both, and then we will do their integration. Now ds vector, which is the small surface area element, it is given by dsx I cap plus ds y j cap plus ds z k cap. So this you have already done in mechanics, that in Cartesian coordinates the surface area element it is given by the x component of the surface area vector is dsx, and the y component of the surface area vector is dsy, and z component is dsz. Now dsx it is equal to dy into dz, dsy is equal to dx into dz, dsz is equal to dx into dy. So these are the components of the area vector, small area vector in Cartesian coordinates. Now the small length element in Cartesian coordinates, it is given by dl vector is equal to dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz k cap. So these are the general formulas for ds vector and dl vector in Cartesian coordinates. Now in this surface that is given to us, in this x is equal to 0 and dx will also be equal to 0. So in the surface area when you will put dx is equal to 0, so you will just get the surface area vector will be just equal to dy into dz I cap. So the small surface area element on this surface, it will be simply equal to dy into dz I cap. So ds vector will be dy into dz I cap, and then we will find the curl of vector v. Curl of any vector field, it is found using the determinant. First row it consists of I cap, j cap, k cap. Second row consists of the components of the del operator, which is del by del x, del by del y, del by del z. Then the third row it consists of the components of the v vector. So x component of v vector is 0, y component is 2xz plus 3y square, and z component is 4yz square. And on solving this determinant, you will get the curl of this vector, it will be equal to 4z square minus 2x I cap plus 2z k cap. So we have evaluated what is curl of this vector field, and we know what is ds vector. Now we will do the dot product of these two, and then we will do the surface integration. So we have done the surface integration, and in this bracket, in this curly bracket, we have written the curl of vector v, which is 4z square minus 2x I cap plus 2z k cap, dot product with the area vector, which is dy into dz I cap. Now on doing the dot product, only the x component will remain, this component k component it will vanish. So now we will do the dot product of these two vectors. So we will just get 4z square minus 2x times dy into dz. because we have done the dot product. So in dot product what we do is we multiply x component with x component, y component with y component, and z component with the z component. So on doing the dot product you will just get this expression. Now here we have dy and dz. So the y variable, it varies from 0 to 1, and the z variable, it also varies from 0 to 1. So at all the points on the boundary, all the points on this line, the z is equal to 1, and on all the points on this line z is equal to 0. So z is varying from 0 to 1, and similarly y is also varying from 0 to 1. So to find the limits of y or z, we can draw a vertical line to find the limits of z. So if you say the limits of y are from 0 to 1, as it can be seen, the y, it varies from 0 to 1. To find the limits of z, we can draw a line which is parallel to the z-axis. So we can draw a line like this, which is parallel to the z-axis. So the point where this arrow, it cuts the y-axis. So at this point the z is equal to 0, and at the topmost point where the arrow, this arrow, it cuts the surface, it is at z is equal to 1. So you can draw this vertical line anywhere which is parallel to the z-axis. So in all those cases the z will vary from 0 to 1. So the points where this arrow will cut the surface, it will be from 0 to 1. So z will also vary from 0 to 1, and y will also vary from 0 to 1. Now we can evaluate this integral. Now we know for this surface x is equal to 0. So here we have 2x. So this will be equal to 0. So 2x, this will be equal to 0. So we will be just left with 4z square into dy into dz. So we will be left with 0 to 1 integration, 0 to 1, 4z square into dy into dz. Now first of all, we will do the integration with respect to y variable. Now for y variable, 4z square is a constant term, so it will come out of the integral. Now the variable which is written inside is the y variable, that is dy, and the variable which is written outside is the z variable, and we have written dz. So the integral, the innermost integral is for the variable which is written inside, and the outer integral is for the variable which is written outside. So first of all we are doing the integration with respect to y, and for y 4z square is constant, so you will get 0 to 1 integral. This is the integral for z variable. So outer integral, it is for z variable, inner integral is for y variable. Now we are evaluating the inner integral. So for inner integral we have y variable, and for that 4z square will be constant, so that will come out of the integral. So we will be just left with the integration of 1, which will be simply equal to y. So it will vary from 0 to 1, and dz, it will remain as it is. Now on evaluating this, the upper end, putting the upper and the lower limits, this will be equal to 1 minus 0, which will be equal to 1. Then you will do the integration over z variable, so that will be equal to 4z cube divided by 3, and on putting the values you will get only simply 4 by 3. So the left hand side of the Stokes theorem for this vector and this surface area, we get left hand side is equal to 4 by 3. Now we have to evaluate the right hand side. Now on the right hand side we have the line integral of the vector on the contour, on the closed contour which is shown over here. So first of all what we will do is to find the line integral over the boundary, we will divide this closed line integral into open line integrals. So let's say first of all we will do integration from 0 to 1 over this path. This is the first path. Then we will go from this point to this point, so that is the second path, and then this is the third path, and this is the fourth path. fourth path. So we are doing the integration over the boundary, we are doing the line integral, and line integral, this is over the boundary. Now we have divided the closed boundary into open paths, into 4 open paths, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have divided this closed line integral into open line integrals, and there are 4 open line integrals, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is over first path, this is over second path, this is over third path, this is over fourth path. So we have to evaluate all these line integrals one by one. First of all, we are finding the line integral of the vector field V over the first path, that is going from this point to this point. Now when you are going from this point to this point, only the y variable is changing because you are moving along the y-axis. So therefore y variable will change. X is equal to 0, so dx will be 0, and along this path z will also be equal to 0, so dz will also be equal to 0. So on this path, on this first path, x is equal to 0, dz is and z is equal to 0, so dx will be 0 and dz will be 0. And along this path, dl vector will be equal to, so dl vector, we have dx is equal to 0 and we have dz is equal to 0 for the first path. Therefore dl vector will be simply dy into j cap. So the dl vector will be dy into j cap, and we have vector v which is given by the y component and its z component. So when you are multiplying, we are doing the dot product with v vector and dl vector. Dl vector, it has only the y component, v vector has y component and the z component. So when you will do the dot product, the y component it will multiply with the y component, and z component of v it will be multiplied with 0, because in dl vector there is no z component. So vector v dot dl vector for the first path is, it will be equal to 2xz plus 3y square, which is the y component, into dy, which is the y component of dl vector. So this integral, it will be simply equal to this integral. And in this we have dy variable. As you can see here, we have y variable, and y varies from 0 to 1. So the limits of y will be from 0 to 1. Now in this integral, we have x is equal to 0, because on all the points on the surface, x is always equal to 0. So this term, it will be equal to 0. So this integral will be equal to 3y square dy, and limit of y is from 0 to 1. Now when you will evaluate this integral, you will get 3y cube divided by 3, and that will be equal to 1. So the line integral of the vector field over the first path, it is equal to 1. Now we are evaluating the second line integral, that is this path. We are going from this point to this point. So in this direction, that is along the second path, the z variable will change. Now on this path, y is always constant, y is equal to 1. Along the second path, y is equal to 1, z is changing. So along this second path, y will be equal to 1, so dy will be equal to 0. So in the second path, dy will be equal to 0, because y is equal to 1. Now we will put the value of the expression of v vector and dl vector. So the v vector, it is given by the y component and its z component, and the dl vector, it has only the z component. So when you will do the dot product of v vector with dl vector, you will just get the z component, which is 4yz square into dz. So we have done the dot product, so it will be 4yz square into dz. Now here we have the dz variable, and the limits of z, they go from 0 to 1. And in this case, in the second path, when you are moving along the second path, y is equal to 1. So over here we have y, and y will be, we will put y is equal to 1. So integral will be equal to 0 to 1, 4z square into dz. So when you will evaluate this integral, so it will be z cube divided by 3. So this will be simply equal to 4 divided by 3. Now for the third path, we have to do the line integral from this point to this point over the third path. Now on the third path, z will always remain constant, z is equal to 1. Over this path, when you are moving from this point to this point, so the z it will go from, z will be constant and y will go from 1 to 0. We have to move from this point to this point. So over here y is equal to 1 and over here y is equal to 0. So dl vector will be equal to just dy into j cap, because x is 0, so dx will be 0 and z is equal to 1, so dz will be equal to 0. So dl vector will be just equal to dy into j cap. So when you will do the dot product of v vector with the dl vector, so you will get 2xz plus 3y square j cap dot product with dy j cap. So you will get this term, and here we have y variable and y goes from 1 to 0. For the third path y goes from 1 to 0 and x is equal to 0, so this term will be equal to 0, and on evaluating this term you will get minus 1. So when you will evaluate 3y square into dy, that will be 3y cube divided by 3, and we have limits from 1 to 0. So when you will put limits from 1 to 0, this integral it will be equal to minus 1. Now for the fourth integral, that is v vector dot product with dl vector over the fourth path. Now for the fourth path, the z it will go from 1 to 0. For the fourth path, the z will go from 1 to 0, and dl vector in this case will be dz into k cap, because for the fourth path x is 0 and y will also be equal to 0. So you can clearly see from the diagram that y is equal to 0 over the fourth path, so dy will be equal to 0. Now dl vector will be just equal to dz into k cap. So v vector dot product with dl vector, you will get 4yz square into dz and its integration over the z variable. Now for the fourth path, y is always 0. So when you will put y is equal to 0 over here, so this integral will be equal to 0. Now you can sum all the four integrals that we have found. The first integral, it had value equal to 1. So 1 plus 4 by 3. 4 by 3 was the value of the integral over the second path, and the value of the integral over the third path was equal to minus 1, and the value of the line integral over the fourth path is equal to 0. So on summing all the line integrals, all the open line integrals, the right hand side will be equal to 4 by 3. So the left hand side also it came out to be equal to 4 by 3, and the right hand side it has also come out to be equal to 4 by 3. So we have verified the Stokes theorem. The next numerical, it was, we were given a vector field which was given by this expression. It had x component, y component and the z component, and we had to verify Stokes theorem for this triangular surface, and the vertex of the triangle, it was 0, 0, and the y limit was up to 2 and the z limit was also up to 2. So on this surface also, x will be equal to 0. At any point on this surface, x will be equal to 0, because x-axis it is pointing out of the paper, and this triangular area it is only in the yz plane. So x will be 0, so dx will be equal to 0. Therefore ds vector, small area element, it will be equal to dy into dz I cap. So dx will be equal to 0, so y and z components of the ds vector, they will vanish. So similarly we will do the same procedure as we had done in the last numerical. We will evaluate the left hand side. Left hand side is equal to the surface integral of the curl of vector v over the surface S, and this S is the surface which is bounded by this triangular boundary. So we will find curl of vector v. Curl of vector v, it can be easily found using the determinant, and when you will solve the curl of vector v, you will get this expression on solving the determinant. So you have to solve the determinant and you will get this expression of curl of vector v. So we will put these values of curl of v and ds vector in this integral. So this left hand side will be equal to the double integration curl of vector v dot product with ds vector, and ds vector we have taken this expression dy into dz I cap. Now over here we do not have any y or the z component, we have only the x component. So on solving this dot product, you will get double integration into minus 2y into dy into dz. So on solving the dot product, you will just get minus 2y into dy into dz. Now what are the limits of dy and dz? Now we can flip these variables. Here we have done first integration with respect to y, and then we are doing integration with respect to z. We can flip these two variables, that is, first we can do integration with respect to z and then we will do the integration with respect to y. So these both integrals are the same. Now what are the limits of y? Now here we have y variable, so the variable which is written after dz, after this variable, the integral will be the first integral. So this variable which is written outside, so this integral, first integral is for the variable dy and the innermost integral is for dz. So this integral is for z variable and this integral is for dy variable. So we will solve this integration. So to solve this integration, what we have to know is the limits. So in the last case, the limits were simple. The y was varying from 0 to 1 and z was varying from 0 to 1. But in this case, y it will vary from 0 to 2. So first limit is of y is varying from 0 to 2. So if you take the limits of y from 0 to 2, the limits of z will never be from 0 to 2. Because if you will take the limits of y from 0 to 2 and you will take the limits of z also from 0 to 2, you will get a square as we had got in the last case. But here we have this triangular region. We have to evaluate the limits so that we get this triangular region. So the limits of y, they go from 0 to 2. Let's say we have fixed the limits of y from 0 to 2. Now what will be the limits of z? To find the limits of z, we will again draw a line which is parallel to the z-axis. So the points where this line, it cuts this surface, these 2 points. So they will decide the limits of z. Now over here, the limit of z, the lower limit of z will be 0. So y it will vary from 0 to 2. The limits of y are from 0 to 2, but the limits of z will be from 0 to some point, and we have to find what is this point. So to find this point, the upper limit of z, to find the upper limit of z, we have to find the equation of this line. We have to find the equation of this line. So limits of z, to find the limits of z, first we have to find the equation of line which is connecting 0, 0, 2 means this point, and 0, 2, 0, that is this point. So we have to find the equation of this line, and you can easily find this equation using this formula that you know how to find the equation of a straight line whose 2 points are given to us. So that formula is given by z2 minus z1, because on the vertical axis we have z variable and on the horizontal axis we have y variable. So the equation will be z2 minus z1 over y2 minus y1 it will be equal to z minus z1 over y minus y1. So in your higher secondary school, you might have done the equation as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, because in that case the vertical axis was y and the horizontal axis was x-axis. But here the vertical axis is z-axis and horizontal axis is the y-axis. So we will modify this formula in this way. So what is z2? So z2 over here is equal to 2 and z1 is equal to 0. So let's say this is point P2 and this is point P1. So z2 is equal to 2, z1 is equal to 0 and y2 is equal to 0 in this case, and y1 is equal to 2. And over here also we will put the values of z1 and y1. Or you can, here we have put the value of z2 and y2. So that is the same thing. You can either put over here z1 and y1, or you can put z2 and y2. So here we have put the values of z2 and y2. So z2 is equal to 2 and y2 is equal to 0. So you will get the equation of this straight line which is joining these 2 points, and the equation will be given by z is equal to 2 minus y. So this will be the equation of this line. So any point on this line, it will be given by, the z coordinate will be given by 2 minus y. So let's say you want to find the z coordinate at this point. So first of all you will find what is the value of y over there, and let's say the value of y is equal to 1 over there. So if value of y is 1 over there, the z coordinate will be given by this equation. So z will be equal to 2 minus 1 is equal to 1, that is z coordinate will be equal to 1. So the upper limit of z, it is changing as you are changing the y coordinate. The upper limit of z, it is changing as you are moving, as you are changing the y coordinate. So at this y coordinate, at this point, the upper limit will be something else. At this point of y, the upper limit of z will be something else. So the z limit, upper limit, it is given by 2 minus y. So this is how the upper limit of z is decided. What we do is we find the equation of the line which is joining these 2 points, and the upper limit of z will be given by this equation of the line itself. So z, it will vary from 0. So on this line, on this vertical line we have drawn, the lowermost point is at 0. It will always remain at 0. That is, for example, if you draw another line like this. So this line, it cuts at 0. So this line also cuts at 0. So the lower limit of z, it will remain the same, and it will go from 0 to 2 minus y. So the upper limit will be different. For this line, upper limit will be different. For this line, upper limit will be different, and upper limit will be given by 2 minus y. So now z is varying from 0 to 2 minus y, and y is varying from 0 to 2. So LHS, over here we had minus 2y dz into dy, minus 2y dz into dy. So when you will evaluate it, this will be equal to 0 to 2 is the limit of y, and the limit of z is from 0 to 2 minus y, and minus 2y will remain as it is. So first of all we will do the integration with respect to z variable, and the limits of z, they go from 0 to 2 minus y. So here we do not have any z variable, so this will be a constant. So minus 2y, it can be taken outside the integral, and the integration of the constant will be just equal to z, and the limits of z, they go from 0 to 2 minus y. So on evaluating this integral, minus 2y, it will remain as it is. You will get 2 minus y into dy. So now you will evaluate this term, and on evaluating this term, it will be equal to 0 to 2, and you will get minus 4y plus 2y square into dy. So now you will evaluate this integral. You will get 4y square by 2 plus 2y cube divided by 3, and the limits of y, they go from 0 to 2. So this will be equal to minus 8 plus, you will put the upper limit of y, which is equal to 2. So that will be equal to minus 8. First term will be equal to minus 8 plus second term will be equal to 16 divided by 3, and this will be equal to minus 8 divided by 3. So this is the LHS, the surface integral of curl of vector v over the surface which is shown over here. It comes out to be equal to minus 8 by 3. So whole procedure is the same as we had done in the last numerical. Only difference is the limits of z, they will vary from 0 to 2 minus y. So in the last numerical, the limits of z, they varied from 0 to 1, and limits of y also varied from 0 to 1, because in that case we had a square surface. The surface, it was a square. In this we have a triangular shape, so the limit of z, it will be from 0 to 2 minus y. So this is the left hand side. Now we will see what will be the right hand side. On the right hand side we have to evaluate the line integral of the vector v. So in this case also we will divide this closed line integral into open line integral. So first of all we will do the line integral over first path, then over second path, then over third path. So we are moving in the anti-clockwise direction. So first of all we will evaluate the first integral, that is over the first path. So over the first path, that is we are moving in this direction. So in moving in this direction, x is equal to 0 and z is also equal to 0. So dx is 0 and dz is also equal to 0. So dl vector will be just dy into j cap, and vector v, it is given by 3 components. There are 3 components of vector v. So only non-vanishing term will be the y component, because here we have dl vector is equal to dy into j cap. So when we will do the dot product of vector v with the dl vector, so you will just get 2yz into dy. So only the y component will be there. So 2yz into dy. Now, and here the variable is y, and y is varying from 0 to 2. So y will vary from 0 to 2 and z is equal to 0 in this case. So z will be equal to 0. So this whole integral will be equal to 0. Now the second path, the line integral over this path, vector v dot dl vector. Now along this path only x is equal to 0, so dx is equal to 0. So along this path y is also varying and z is also varying. So dl vector, it will be equal to dy into j cap plus dz into k cap. So when you will do the dot product of v vector with dl vector, that is dot product of this vector with this vector, you will get both the y components and the z components. So you will get 2yz dy plus 3zx dz. So you will get the both y and the z components will be there, because dl vector, it has y and z components, and vector v, it has x, y and z components. So this will be the dot product. And in this case x is equal to 0, so this term will be equal to 0 because here we have x. So this term will be equal to 0, and we will evaluate this term, integral over 2yz into dy. So variable is y and y is varying from, so when you are moving from this point to this point, what are the limits of y? Y over here is equal to 2 and over here y is equal to 0. So the limits of y are from 2 to 0. And when you will evaluate this integral 2 to 0, so in this case, when you are moving from this point to this point, you are moving along this line whose equation we have already found out, and its equation was equal to z is equal to 2 minus y. So this was the equation of this line. So z is equal to, over here we have z, so z, we will put the value of z, which is 2 minus y into dy. So we will evaluate this integral. So limits from 2 to 0, we will get 4y minus 2y square into dy, and this will be from 2 to 0. So on evaluating this integral, we will get 4y square divided by 2 minus 2y cube divided by 3. So this integral, so we have solved this integral, we will get 4y square divided by 2 minus 2y cube divided by 3, and limits will go from 2 to, so when you will solve this integral, so when you will solve the limits, this will be equal to minus 8 divided by 3. So when you will solve this expression, you will put the upper limit and you will put the lower limit, so that will be equal to minus 8 by 3. So first line integral over the first path, it came out to be 0. The line integral over the second path, that is over this line, it came out to be equal to minus 8 by 3. And the last integral, vector v dot dl over the third path, that is we are moving from this point to this point. So when you are moving from this point to this point, so in that case, y is equal to 0. So on this line y is also 0 and x is also 0. So dy is 0 and dx is 0. So dl vector in that case will be just dz into k cap. So when you will do v vector dot dl vector, that is v vector dot dl vector, you will just get the z component, that is you will get 3zx into dz. So 3zx into dz. So this will be vector v dot dl vector for the third path, and x is always equal to 0. X is always 0 for the surface, so the line integral over the third path will be equal to 0. So when we will do the sum of all these line integrals, that is 0 minus 8 by 3 plus 0. So total, the right hand side, it will be equal to first integral plus second integral plus third integral, it will be equal to minus 8 by 3. So the left hand side also came out to be equal to minus 8 by 3, and right hand side it has also come out to be equal to minus 8 by 3. So we have verified Stokes' theorem